That
Right.
sounds live, but there's no tune. There's no tune.
Welcome to the Christmas Day edition. Not another Rangers podcast. My apologies for that. The Scott sent me my different email address. It's no going live, so I'm blaming him, despite the fact that it's my fault. Couldn't get going. So welcome to the Christmas Eve
Blame me,
edition.
Gary. Everybody does that anyway. I'll take the blame. I'm the oldest. I'll take the blame.
It's my fault. My fault. I was left in charge and failed miserably.
You don't look the oldest, Care. That's all I'm saying. You can make your mind up between the other two. Who does?
Ricky doesn't look that old.
A wee bit of grey hair coming, Ross. I've got a bit of grey hair and a bit of grey hair. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I had a full beard for the start on this pod before it went live. I had to get up and have a shave before we managed to get started.
Anyway, but 10, 15 minutes late, plenty of time. You know, if you've been sitting patiently waiting, thank you for waiting on us. We'll hopefully you'll enjoy it. Look, I've just caught Ross drinking his glass of red wine on Christmas Eve there. That was very classy there, Ross.
I like a jumper, Ross.
Thank you, mate. I thought it went with a theme.
Where's your Christmas in there? 3 years I've turned up with a Christmas jumper on, Scott.
I'm going to fix this Wi-Fi. I'm going snowboard. I'm in Paisley, Ricky. There's no here. Listen, I'm trying to fix the Wi-Fi for last year. I was working to fixing it. My Christmas jumper's all iron tomorrow. I need it for my Christmas dinner. I can't wear it tonight. Don't want to wear things 2 days in an auto smell.
Very true, very true. So I welcome anybody that's joining us on Christmas Eve. You know, if you've managed to get all the wrapping presents, you've managed to avoid having to do anything, look after any kids. Well done, you. Hopefully you'll enjoy the next 45 minutes, an hour or so, as we talk some of the stuff that's been happening in Rangers over the last couple of days and the next week or two. How are we doing, Ross?
Very good, mate. Good to be back. I've been a busy boy, so I've been missing the pod. But good to be back, and any excuse not to be with everybody's favourite Tim in the corner wrapping presents. So
is Santa due to bring any Rangers-related gifts to the household tomorrow?
Well, I don't know if my darling beloved missus would have went into the Rangers shop. She breaks out in rashes if she goes down near the Rangers shop, you know. So I don't know. Not unless she could have thrown in a fishing rod and go it out. Well, she's a Tim. She would probably have shoplifted it, to be fair. She'd have probably ran in with a balaclava on.
Scott, how are you doing?
I'm alright, Gary. I've just been working the day, which wasn't great, and then I sat here and I couldn't get us to go, and the house is full of folk, as you can probably hear, but I was trying to go up the loft, but nothing was working, so I don't know if it's my laptop. I was saying to Ricky earlier, it's just the Wi-Fi is not great. They'd get stuff on in here, but it's chopping in and out and as well, so it's not great sitting on a phone, because it's not the best try to do this on a mobile, but at least I'm on.
You usually find Santa.
Is it the grandkids that's looking forward to Santa tomorrow?
To be honest with you, everybody in here gave their presents already because we're a bit that busy tomorrow. So everybody's swapped gifts already, believe it or not. So, because we're busy, we're up early in different houses tomorrow, so everybody's already gave gifts. It's the daughter that's in with my son-in-laws and my mates up and my wife. And so the conservatory's quite busy and we're sitting all cash.
Good. And Ricky, what does Cyprus Christmas look like?
You don't want to know, mate. It's barbecue. It's sun barbecue. It's a bit different than being in the UK, mate. But lots of food, lots of drink. I've ate my body weight in food already today, mate. I feel like an absolute fat pig, but it's all good, mate. So looking forward to speaking about Rangers rather than sticking presents under the tree. Let's go.
And Ricky's just nicely moved us on to talk about Rangers there. He doesn't want to talk about Christmas anymore. Move it back to the thing. So it seems like ages ago already since we played Dundee, wasn't it? A couple of days ago. Was it 2 days, 3 days ago? Can't remember. but it seems like a while ago. Probably a game that doesn't live long in the memory, Ricky. It was quite slow, 1-0 win. Did you watch it? Oh, is Ricky frozen on this, or is he just looking very thoughtful?
He'll definitely not be frozen. It's about 40 degrees here.
What about you, Ross? Did you watch the game on Saturday then?
I watched it, mate. I think I thought it was a decent performance. Gary, your inches story of my life. You're inches away from scoring a lot more than you did, but hit the crossbar 4 times in a game is unlucky. I didn't think we were as fluent as we have been, but you're not going to be in every game you play, are you? So you sometimes just take the 1-0 and get out of dodge, and then luckily enough, results elsewhere also went in our favour, which was helpful as well. Brought a bit of Christmas spirit and potentially a bit of belief to the support on Twitter today. You're seeing a few folk now. If you get a result on the 2nd of January, then all of a sudden you're back within 6 points again. So I think that 1-0 you might look at the end of the season and say it was an important one, if not to put a bit more light between us and third, because some of the people that were down in the dumps at the start of the season would have thought you were going to finish the season in third. So if not to push us closer to the top, definitely to push us further up and away from third place.
Yeah. Scott, you didn't see the game. Well, you weren't at the game. Was it the first
game, Gary. No.
I don't know if
my granddaughter's birthday, aye, so we're down that. But I seen the highlights and I watched some of it back in Rangers TV. And we played okay. Dundee never really. A couple of times they flattered to deceive. I thought they had one decent chance to be fair, but we should scored more than one. But at this time of the year, I know I probably sound like a broken record, but you just need to take each game at a time. We still get St.Mirren, still get Motherwell before we play them, so we can't look too far ahead. We just have to look at the next game that comes ahead. But all we wanted was 3 points, and we got 3 points. I thought we were okay. We should have scored more, and that's all we can really ask. We came off the back of a cup final where we were very, very unlucky, and I know there was a lot going on that week with different things in the media and stuff, and the players had to kind of settle back down because they could have been angry, they could have been frustrated with that, but they never getting the victory was the main thing, and that's all we have to do at the time because there's a lot of games coming up, especially we've got Europa League games, we've got league games, so all we can do is take a game at a time and just try and get as many points as we can because there's a lot of football to be played. So, but what's Nick Neil and H said, we can only we're back in it in a way as we're closer. I think Aberdeen are starting to flatter to deceive, and they can always turn it around because teams do. But I think we've got a bit of consistency, but it has to continue in Boxing Day before we look any further ahead.
Yeah. And Ricky, yourself, you're back. So, have you frozen again? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, his connection's gone again. It's gone again. So, obviously, it's Christmas Eve. We'll do something a wee bit different. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll try and answer them as well. Because we don't want to just talk about the games. The game's been, Christmas is coming. We've got a game in a couple of days. If you have got any other questions or anything you want us to pick up on, please stick your comments in the chat while we're doing that. So, go back to the game then. On Saturday, it was cold, a little bit depressing. The crowd wasn't great because it was the last Saturday shopping before Christmas. But I think as Ross says, we played pretty well. First half dominant. I've seen a comment there saying that we were probably 80% possession, I think it was, and hit the bar numerous times. I suppose going back, one of the things is the change of shape. Danilo came back, Hadji was in, quite an attack lineup, and Dougal Sterling came in as well. So there's very few in the way defenders, Ross, in the team. Did you see that same sort of attack of the tent you'd seen in the last couple of games from them?
I thought it was. I thought that as I say, I know if you're anti-head boss, should be your uncle, but if you've hit the bar 4 times, it shows that you're attacking. I think listening to another podcast, they said there was like XG said there was a 98% chance we were going to win the game. So based on the stat, based on the eye test, Gary, I thought we were every bit as attacking as we have been, and I think that on the day we were just unlucky. That the finishing maybe let us down a wee bit, and The play wasn't as cohesional as it has been. Big word for me on Christmas Eve, but it wasn't as cohesional as it has been. I thought the passing and movement was a bit laboured, but as Keir says, you've had a couple of big games Thursday and then Sunday, and then you're going back into another game. Maybe just a wee bit of the opposite, whatever the opposite of a euphoria is when you're coming back to a normal game after playing Spurs and the other lot. So I don't think there was any less attacking intent. I just think maybe a wee bit of cohesion wasn't there, and obviously the chance taking wasn't either.
So you're in the Williams roster a wee while. So I suppose that the big player of the last month has been Raskin. I'm interested to get your thoughts on how the difference he's made to the team since he's come into form.
I think he's been outstanding. Pains me to say it a wee bit because obviously I'm a bit of a Connor Barron stan and he seems to have absolutely took his place altogether. But I do think that over the course of a season you'll need the two of them. But Raskin has been outstanding. I don't think MD could deny that the upturn in forms had a lot to do with the fact that he's now doing that motoring all over. Very similar to the role Ryan Jack performed for us in the 55 season, where it was go and win the ball and then pass it on to somebody that's going to go and do better. But I also think, Gary, that's helped by the fact that there's four people in front of him moving, as opposed to the musical statues we had before we'd had that wee tweak in shape.
Yeah. And Ricky, just picking up on some of the players that obviously Raskin's forms, Tav's forms came up at the same time as Hadji, Danilo, Agaman, and Cerny have probably been a bit of form as well. So, I mean, is there a common theme there, or is it just literally that players have hit form at the same time? Was Ricky froze again? Honestly, every time I see him, he's looking blank.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is with Ricky? I think his Wi-Fi actually works off his thought process because he usually looks daft as a brush when he's speaking, but when he looks as if he's thinking, his internet cuts out as if his brain gets in front of the wireless, isn't it? I think that's what that is.
Same question to you then, Scott. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I suppose it's been quite simple. A lot of people have talked about, Agaman's come in the team or Danilo's come in the team, but is it as simple as a lot of players have just started to have form that hadn't been the case earlier in the season?
I think it's probably a bit of both in that, Gary, what you're talking about. I think playing the three up top, like a man, Danilo, Cerny, and maybe playing Raskin behind, I think that's given the opposition what to think about. More thought process as in who we're going to go, we're going to follow Hadji, we're going to follow Agaman, we're going to follow Danilo, we're going to follow Cerny, whereas before it was Cerny and maybe Barami, who were a wee bit deeper, maybe try to cut inside, but you get Dessers, who had a bit as much movement as a traffic cone. So I think it's given our teams more to think about, and then maybe looking at it to see they can come down the left, they can come down the right, they can come through the centre. So it's better for us. We're creating a lot more, and only playing one holding as well helps us. I think we demanded playing further forward and maybe Raskin sit himself. That helps us. Playing two sitters is okay, but we need to be in the front foot most of the time, and I think we've seen the difference when we have been in the front foot. Guaranteed we're no one every game, but we're playing better football and we look in the game. And we look like we're creating, we look like we maybe scoring more goals, whereas before we were struggling to score. We were scoring one goal, maybe sitting on it, and we were struggling to score in away games, as we've seen. So I think the change has helped dramatically, but it may be good fortune, they're all back of injury. Good fortune's all the Walking Martins put them all together. I think a wee bit of luck as well, but he has to keep it that way. He can't go back to what he revert back to types. I think that hurts us. I think we have to be in the front foot. We have to attack teams. That's what Rangers do, Gary. It doesn't matter who we're playing in Scotland. We should be in the front foot attacking them, no matter who it is. Even Celtic, we've seen in the cup final. We were brave enough, so we have to do it every game, no matter who it is. Yeah, you're going to get opposition coming against you and making chances, but we have to be in the front foot more than anybody else.
So, first half, not that much happens, Ross. You know, we've a couple of hit the bar from a Hadji, a lot of effort, hit the bar with a Tav free kick. 80% possession, dominant. Dundee, to be fair, and defended well, 10 men behind the ball, kept it quite tight. Second half comes and Cerny scores a few minutes into the game. Very bizarre. You know, I'm sitting in the game and nobody celebrates around about me. You're looking about thinking the guy's miles offside. Even the music doesn't play. Ibrox knew you score a goal, the music goes. That doesn't go, and everybody's just waiting for the flag to go up. Cerny runs to the side, stands there, looks about, nobody's bothered come running over with him because they're still waiting for the flag. So I suppose it was a kind of surreal goal. Certainly when you watch it, no matter how many times you watch it, it looks offside. But his goal scoring and contributions over this last couple of months has been phenomenal, actually.
Try to get myself off mute there. Aye, he's been very efficient with his chances. I think what I would say is I thought he wasn't as effective when it came to the Old Firm game, which is a game where you really need him to go and take the game by the scruff of the neck. But I seen his stats the other day, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. But his amount of goal contributions to games played is impressive. I think a lot of people changed their opinion on him when they seen the interview he did after the Leon game when he missed the chance and he spoke about the emotions and kind of gave you a peek behind the curtain at what it's like to be a football player. We think that they're just there to collect their 30 grand a week, and when they leave the field of play, they don't really care. They just go home and sit in their mansion and count their money like Scrooge McDuck or Ricky. But he showed you that there is there's a bit more to it in the mentality, and I think that really bought him a bit of a connection with the fans, and I think that's really helped him since then. Obviously, goals and assists will bring confidence as well, but I just like to see him really gone and given a Greg Taylor a really tough time on the 2nd of January because the Celtic game was on in the pub the other day when I was through in Edinburgh on Sunday, and you're not going to tell me that you can't get at a backline that's got Liam Scales and Anthony Ralston, and these are no great players, Gary. Like a player like Cerny, I want to be dominating games and forcing them back the same way Maeda does with our players, because he's certainly got the ability to do that. I think it's maybe just the big occasion and the confidence. So hopefully, I think one good game against him will change the whole outlook on that for him as well.
Yeah. And Ricky, I don't know, can you? Oh, your eyes are moving. Wave if you can still hear us. You know, frozen.
Honestly, what has Kerr done? He's absolutely killed this man. Is he like this? Is his nothing but grenades with his crap new setup? For Christmas, I want the old setup back immediately for Boxing Day.
Right, Ricky, it's your chance to shine. Then you've got a chance to speak. Say whatever you want now. We'll talk obviously about Cerny. Do you think one of the things that struck me with Cerny, and I know Ross said that there, didn't play a great Old Firm game, still should have apparently still set up a goal. And I suppose it's maybe about understanding the type of player he is. I think maybe when he came, we didn't quite get the type of player he was, and he probably isn't your typical winger.
He's had an outstanding season though. Like if you look at his numbers, he's a winger that posts numbers, Gary, and we've not had that for a while. You know, it's all right. People used to get excited with your Ryan Kents and stuff like that, but he would have 2 assists and 3 goals for the season. This guy, he posts numbers. A lot of people are saying that we're not going to be able to afford him, and that would be a big shame for me because I'd love us to push the boat out and sign the guy at the end of the season. Now, okay, the Old Firm games, he's not been great. You can't pretend that he has. But a lot of Rangers players in the past say that an Old Firm game's not easy just to settle into and play fantastic. It takes a lot of players that are better than Cerny. It's took them 2, 3, 4 Old Firm games before they understand the speed and the pace of the fixture. And Cerny's a very, very good player. See, when he's on his day, man, he's unplayable. I think it was what was the European game? There was a European game that night at Ibrox where he was just absolutely outstanding. So if he can bring that form to the game on the 2nd, then we've got a good chance of beating them. So for me, Cerny, not a problem with Cerny. I hope we've got the money to sign him at the end of the season because he could be you see the drop-off. Like, let's be honest, the drop-off when Cerny went off and McCausland came on that's the problem that Comont has to deal with in January. We've got such a massive difference between our top performers that are in the team now. You take them off and you replace them with the subs that we're bringing on. The subs that we're bringing on are not good enough, and we need to see a few, hopefully 3, 4 players come in January, get a few out. That would be fantastic. Make the overall squad stronger for the second half of the season.
So I'll stick with you then, just on Ricky then. So McCausland, just picking on him, picking up on him. Clement said in his press conference today that he's been struggling with an injury for a while. It's only now that he's actually fit. He has been on the bench a lot, surprisingly enough, if he's been struggling with an injury. But he came on last week, was pretty poor, as to be said, in the 20 blazed over the bar, and then one issue just to pass across to somebody to tap in. But he started the season pretty well. I remember sitting, we was talking to the pod at the time. He was quite sharp. He was cutting inside. He was doing other things. Scored a good goal against Malmo, was it? Might be Malmo. And then obviously got the injury and just fell right away. And it didn't look anything like the player wasn't getting quoted. It's kind of crucial we have him because we do need somebody else to help support Cerny. Cerny can't play 2 games a week at that level.
That's exactly it. But that's what I'm saying. He's getting his opportunity. He's one of the lucky. I don't know why. I mean, none of the other B team players are deemed good enough to get a chance, and he's considered a first team player now. So we'll have to treat him as a first team player. I was being quite soft of him last season. I thought some fans were a little bit harsh on him, but I think this season, to be honest, we need to see progression from the kid. And when he gets these opportunities, when he gets onto the park, he's got to be. I mean, he was clean through. His finish was it was a finish of a guy that's got no confidence. And I understand he's been struggling with injury and it takes a bit of time and stuff. But now he's got Cortez hanging because Cortez can play on the right as well. So that might be an option. Look at the Christmas dog. Oh, there's Rudolph. Brilliant. And just now, Rudolph is a better option on the right wing than McCausland, to be honest. That dog would probably put in better crosses and finishes. So he needs to find a bit of form and find it soon because there's a lot of fans that are on the fence with him. Some fans have got their mind made up that he's not good enough, and others want to back him, but he's got to give us something to be able to back. You know, he can't be coming on and then Cerny's going off and he's performing like he has been the last month. We've got to start. He got a chance against Aberdeen and he looked very much like a B team player. He's had a chance in the last 2 games and he's looked very much like a B team player. So we've got to try and see a bit of form now, Gary, going forward, because the team needs him. We need everyone. We need everyone to be contributing, man. You know, you can't be, if these guys are getting a chance that are sitting on the bench, they can't be coming onto the park and just giving us absolutely nothing. McCausland's on good money now, you know. He got a good contract because other teams were interested in him when he came into the first team. So we need to start seeing that money back that we're paying him and with some goals and assists and at least start to give us something back, you know.
And I suppose the last bit of the game really that probably sticks out in my head was Dessers came on with 10 minutes to go or so. If anybody's watched the TikToks, the boo's been made a lot louder than it really was at the game. Sitting there, it was kind of muted boos, there was kind of limited clapping. But I suppose I'm interested in views because I'm struggling to see how that helps MD when the game's in the balance. Scott, you hear us, Scott?
My earphones have went, so I'm having to start just with the phone. Listen, I didn't hear that much booing for Dessers when I watched on the TV a couple of times. I didn't hear a lot of booing, but it's always going to happen with fans. There's going to be fans that like certain players and fans that don't. And I think because what happened in the penalty situation, people are going to hold that against him. Listen, it's just one of the things. I think the best situation is if Dessers gets an offer in January, maybe looks at it seriously, maybe go somewhere else to further his career or maybe get more game time and me maybe look to bring in somebody else. I think it's probably better for both parties, but I'm not going to sit and say you shouldn't have took a penalty, you should have took a penalty. At the end of the day, whoever's confident takes them. That's just one of the things. But I didn't hear that much booing, Gary. I know you were there, you might have heard a different on TV. I heard a wee bit, but I didn't see him as much as maybe the papers made out to be.
Ross, you know, I mean, on at the game there wasn't that much booing. In TikTok there was a hell of a lot more as if it had been amplified, which was a bit bizarre. But I suppose it did make you think, you know, no matter what, Dessers isn't going to turn it around. And he will score goals, he has scored goals, but it probably is better for everybody concerned that we bring in some cash and we potentially reinvest that in somebody you'd like to see coming.
There's better that would do the same job for less money. For what it's worth, mate, I hope his family boo him while he's eating his Christmas dinner tomorrow night for not taking a penalty in the cup final. If you're a £4 million striker, mate, on 25, 30 grand a week, and the goalie and some midget that's hardly kicked a ball for months is taking penalties ahead of you. I'm sorry, mate. I'm not having that. I don't care how confident you feel. You've got that price tag. You're the striker. You're the number 9, and you're watching your goalie step up and take a penalty ahead of you. I'm not having that, mate. Honestly, that to me is so bizarre. And I get people saying, "Oh, but if he'd have missed it, would have been even worse." But if he'd have got missed, at least he'd the balls to go up and take one, mate. Genuinely, I've played in junior teams where your striker would have get dragged into the dressing room and done in after that. I'm no joking. Like, properly, there's no much coming back for that, even at junior amateur level, never mind a professional taking in 20 odd grand a week, mate, refusing to take a penalty. It's not for me at all.
So be genuine. What would you look to try and recoup on him then in January? What do you think's reasonable?
I would, if somebody offered me 2.5 million for him, I'd chew their arm off. I'd drive him myself.
Yeah, I think that's probably as good as you get.
I think the time for making big money on him was the summer, when obviously there's talk that you had the chance of recouping your money and then some. Was at Atalanta in America,
Yeah,
and he was allowed to knock that back. And at that point, what the fans have done, booing him more or less, is the exact same as Phil Clement's done when he's come in and told you Todd Cantwell was for sale, wasn't it? It does degrade the value, because now other clubs know that there's a breakdown between him and the support. But as I say, I hope he's elf on the shelf, writes boo all his wars and everything, mate. Genuinely.
So, just elf on the shelf because away tonight, Ross. He's gone. You don't see him after tonight, is he not, for another year?
Well, my youngest 10 now, Gary. So unfortunately, and it's with heartfelt that Harnell's left her a note last night to say that they're going to have to go to a younger kid's house next year.
Oh.
Once you hit double digits, the magic's kind of lost, so that elf has to give its magic to another elf. So somebody who's maybe watching the pod now that's got a young kid that's looking for a magic elf, there's magic floating about in the ether somewhere, and it'll be tidy houses for us next year.
You better not be green.
Who thought we were talking magic elves there? Never expected that to come there, Ross. That was
I did kind of lead into it when I spoke about Yilmaz, I suppose.
So go back to the penalty. That probably moves us nicely then, Ricky, onto the statement that came out today from Rangers spokesperson. Was it a Rangers spokesperson? That wasn't named, if I remember rightly. So Rangers put a statement out to say that it's with a heavy heart, effectively, they're disappointed that one of the culpable individuals is now back refereeing or assistant refereeing and a Celtic game nonetheless next week. So I suppose the first thing, what did you think of the statement in terms of content, style?
I like the statement. Sorry, what was the second point?
No, the second point, I suppose, what do you think of the SFA in terms of logic behind the decision making?
No, the decision making is 2 fingers up to Rangers, 100%. I mean, we've had a problem with the SFA for the last 10 years. And to be fair, I gave him a little bit of credit yesterday, but all that credit's completely disappeared. Willie Collum can go on his show with Gordon Duncan all he wants and tell us how shit the referees are, but we can see, I mean, that Motherwell decision on Friday night with that sending off, and that clown goes to the monitor and still has the decision that that's a sending off, when if you ask 100 people in a room, 99 is going to tell you it's a yellow card maximum and get on with the game. The refs are so bad, it's unbelievable. But getting back to Frank Connor getting his dream job on New Year's Eve, he gets to go and buy a few tops and with the Christmas sales in the Celtic store, and then he gets to watch his beloved Celtic. 2 games in. I mean, the 100%. They're sticking 2 fingers up to Rangers. We all know, we can go back to the decision. We all know that they didn't miss. It wasn't a mistake. They knew exactly what they were doing at the time. Now, the Willie Collum, their bosses, pretended to come out in the media and, it was a bad decision, we were wrong, and it's going to be better in the future. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know in Scotland the backlash. Wait until January at least 4 or 5 games in, let Frank go back to his beloved Parkhead. But come on now, 2 games after, he got 1 weekend off. He's back. They're both back working this weekend. They got 1 weekend off, and then he's back at Celtic. Like, if you actually, we spoke about this the last time. If you look at all the decisions and you look at all how many free kicks Celtic give away, bookings, red cards, all that sort of stuff, every weekend there's a challenge with Hatate. He goes right, even against Dundee United at the weekend, studs up right through the player. The VAR sticks their fingers in their ears and they'll suddenly miss all these decisions, And then you'll see exactly the same thing. We'll do the same thing and we'll get a player sent off. And it's not been a conspiracy theory. I don't even like speaking about referees, but the SFA knew exactly what they were doing. It's 2 fingers up to Rangers. Well done to Rangers for at least speaking up about it. The statement was very balanced. It was well worded. It wasn't over the top going on about conspiracies and blah blah blah. Let us do that on podcasts and stuff like that. But I thought it was a very well worded statement from the club. So well done, and that's what we need to do. We need to keep highlighting it before the game on the 2nd. Highlight it. It's going to be Nick Walsh and his other 3 crazy people that will be in. 2 people in the bar room and there's 2 crazy linesmen. I guarantee it'll be Nick Walsh because it's like the circle of doom for January the 2nd. So hopefully. You just want, to be honest, you just want an even playing field. The second, we've got the chance to cut back the gap to 6 points. And you've got to remember, people are laughing at Clermont a few months ago and stuff like that. If we beat them on the 2nd and get that back to 6 points, and I'm not getting ahead of myself because game by game, 100%, we're not in a position we can just say, we're going to beat this team, do that, do this. We've done that in the past and it's never worked out. But if we do, all we ask for is a European-style performance from the refs. We don't even see VAR. You don't even see the refs. The decisions are fair. If Celtic beat us, fair enough, fair and square. They're a better team, blah, blah, blah. But at least make it a fair match when we play them on the 2nd. And then that could be, from nowhere, if we get that down to 6 points going into January the 3rd, that'll be unbelievable, And it's game on after that.
So, Scott, Celtic the next day obviously dropped points against Dundee United. Pretty nothing game for what I gather. As Ricky says, it's potentially, if you win your next 3 games, 6 points. Is that a title race then? You're on mute.
I'm not saying it's a title race, you're still in it, but it's down to 6 points, which is a lot closer than we've been for a while. But we have to just concern ourselves about Rangers. Don't concern ourselves about anybody else and just do our business game by game. What I will say about the statement is the statement's great, but that statement should have been out the first time. The first statement was quite poor, as into this one. And the SFA will always just do what they do. It's Connor been back. It's like they try to blame Moore more than they blame Connor, I would say, even though both of them are at it. But what you might do, there's not enough referees in Scotland, there's not enough this, and they're just putting them back in the positions. Being off for 1 game is not great. And it's not just us, there's decisions all across the board in the SPL, League One, Championship, whatever. There's decisions that's poor across the board. And yeah, referees do make mistakes, but when you've got a TV screen to look at, the mistakes should be less than they are. Because you can look at it over 2-3 minutes, not just the one, but you can look at different angles, different ways, and a couple used to bang heads together, but it was that game, you heard it yourself, it was that quick to make that judgment. It was very, very quick. So it didn't surprise me. Connor's back there and it's Connor's back at Celtic Park. Listen, if he wasn't going to be a referee or an assistant referee there, he's got his season ticket anyway. I know you're supposed to give your season tickets in when you're a referee or a linesman, but some of them don't, some of them do. That's all I'll say. But it's what you kind of expect in Scottish football. Rangers, the statement was great, Gary, but like I said, the first one should have been a lot stronger. And this one, we waited till now to put it out. But I thought the first one was okay, but it should have been a lot more wordy, stronger. But there's not a lot we can do. I mean, we've seen in the past, since we've done it, the referees went on strike before, if you remember. So unless we continue with it, there's not a lot we can do. All we can do, like I said before, is constantly bring it up. Because, yeah, you'll get fans saying, don't want to be like them. Fair enough. But you need to constantly bring things to the front to keep it fresh in people's memories. Because that's what they've done for the last 20 years with us conspiracy they're going about. Like I said before, they used to. They've had documentaries. They've even pulled it up in AGMs. They pulled it up in stage shows. They constantly bring out. They reel out Tom Boyd and everybody else talking about referee conspiracies. But they're winning trophy after trophy after trophy. Now, if it's a conspiracy, you don't win trophy after trophy. I don't care what you say, unless that's the worst conspiracy in the world. So now it's the boots on the foot. They'll not accept that. You see, you heard Rodgers saying that thing me, but then he's moaning a couple of months ago about referees. So it's great when it's happening for them, and it's not great when it's not happening for them. So Rangers have just got to keep it coming out every so often. They bring it back out before the Old Firm game. I would bring it back out.
Yeah.
Come on, mention it. The players mention it constantly, just bringing it up. And in every Old Firm game, they bring it out. Like Ricky says, if we get beat fair square. But you bring it out because they're still mentioning it. Rodgers mentioned beating not long ago, saying you have to keep an eye on beating because blah blah blah. So we have to do the same. You have to fight fire with fire. Gone are the days where you think, I don't act like that. No, that's nonsense. If they're doing it, we do it, because I've always said, see, if you say something often enough and long enough, people start to believe it, and that's what you've done for years. So we have to start doing the same.
No, 100%. And I've left this comment up just because for Rangers on tour, being at the game on Saturday, there was 2 VAR decisions, and and one thing I would say, the linesman or assistant referee got them both right. You know, he didn't put his flag up for Cerny's goal and got it right. He then put his flag up for Hadji's one and got it right. And it did make me think about the cup final, what the linesman's role was, because at the end of the day, when you didn't have VAR, you had to make those decisions anyway. So maybe it's not always about VAR. The linesman should have pointed it as well and should have a bit of a knowledge in it. Anyway, I think we'll move on, because I think we want to talk about that. We'll bring it back towards the New Year's Day. So the game is Sunday. What day is it? Boxing Day. Game on Boxing Day, Ross. We play against St. Mirren away, so Scott's local team. St. Mirren are generally dogged, quite decent. They play a certain style of football that we all know. It's quite direct, strong, and I suppose what would you be looking for Rangers to be doing? How to set up, sort of players to play, changes to make, etc., etc.
It's back to you're playing against a team that are nowhere near the level we are. If we play our best and St. Mirren play our best, so you do what you've done for your Ross County, your Kilmarnock games. You go there, you look to dominate the ball, you play Raskin in the sitter, you probably play Diamande and Hadji. For me, you play a Gamani on the left and Danilo. Bajrami, as much as he scored the other week, hasn't been doing it for me. I think you lose out on a bit of the cohesiveness again when Bajrami's playing. I prefer Hadji in the 10 for the moment. Obviously, that could change if Hadji's form drops, but I think Hadji's really playing with something to prove at the moment. Butland obviously come back in. Back 4 picks itself with Souttar's injury. Does Sterling miss it for Balogun? Does Balogun come in proper Balogun? It's hard to say, because for a good period of the year I wanted him in at right back, but I'm not having Cerny, not having Sterling as a centre half either. Like, play him at right back or don't play him at all. I don't think he offers enough. As much as he's physical, he's more kind of burly and gets in about people, doesn't he? As a centre half, I don't think he's as dominant in the air as he should be for his size. So long story short, I would go back to playing the way we have been playing in recent games, and as I say, yeah.
Would you bring in Barron, Ross? You're talking Barron. Would you bring in him?
Rustling away in the background, or is it? I don't know if you can hear it in my ear.
I can't hear.
Eminem's rapping away in the background, man. Marshall Mathers, the second there. Mate, I love Barron, but against St. Mirren, do you need 2 sitters? No. And on current form, can you drop Raskin? No. So therefore, unfortunately, my boy Barron's got to take his medicine and have a seat on the bench for the moment, as I say. But the thing is, Gary, see now you've got Hadji knows if his form drops, Bajrami's waiting to come in. Igamani knows that if his form drops, you've got Bajrami can play out there. Cerny could play in a wheelchair and Ross McCausland's not going to take his place right enough. But you're starting to see competition for places spreading throughout the team, and I think that's important. We've not had it for long enough, and the amount of players that were getting back to injury, and obviously Hadji's contract being sorted out. Oh, thank God for that. It's a Christmas miracle. But no, for now, Barron unfortunately has to take a seat on the bench, which I don't like, but I can see the benefits.
Yeah. And there's lots of games, so there'll be minutes for each of them and stuff there. Ricky, you're always good with the team. You always like the team lineup side of things and what you're looking for in the game.
I think Ross was a bit harsh on Sterling there. Like, I actually like Sterling at centre back. I don't think we can risk Balogun improper, because I think Balogun is it's a lot of games. Like, you know, if we're actually lucky that we've got the versatility of Sterling, because for me, if you had to play Balogun improper against St Mirren, Motherwell and then Celtic, I would be really, really worried. So I actually thought Sterling did well against Dundee, and I would keep him in. I agree with the other, everything else. I totally agree with Ross. I would be the same. For us now, Clement should be speaking to the players and saying, look, guys, you need to get a fast start in these games. It's important that you try and get 2 or 3 up after 60 minutes. And he has to start using his substitutes. We need to start using the advantage we've got with these five substitutes. So if we can get 2-0 up, 3-0 up, let's try and give minutes to Cortez. Let's get Raskin off. Even at half time, if you're 2-3-0 up, 2-0 up, listen, St Mirren's a tough game away. It always is. It's probably going to be a 1-2-0 turgid slog. And that doesn't matter how well Rangers are playing. These games this time of year, the weather will be terrible, the pitch will be sticky as anything. So these games are tough, but you just need to get the result, and we need to get 6 points going into the Celtic game. But if we can get a couple of goals up, then it would be good to see your Cortez, your Barron. It would be good to see Bajrami in the 10, give Hadji a bit of a break. I heard something about Raskin. I think he's pretty close to suspension, I think he's at one more booking. I saw something about that. If he gets booked against St Mirren, he might miss the Celtic game. So if that's the case, man, that could be something to take into consideration. You either risk it for 45 minutes and then get Barron on, or you go with Barron because you can't. We need Raskin for that Celtic game on the 2nd. So if that's the case, then that could bring them. But I wouldn't be making changes, you know. Like, I don't know. Obviously, there was a lot of gremlins. God knows what was going on. Santa Claus must have kept unplugging my bloody iPad at the start of the pod. But I actually thought we played all right against Dundee. I thought there was a massive overreaction because we didn't win 4 or 5-0. Come on, the train has to get derailed if he doesn't win every game 5-0, which was just ridiculous, man. We hit the bar 4 times. Tavernier was good. Raskin was good. Jesus, Egamani missed an open goal, for God's sake. Dessers clean through, smashes against the bar because you were booing him, Gary, when he was coming on. You know, we could. If you score that 2nd or 3rd goal, you go on and probably get 4 or 5. So the performance against Dundee was absolutely fine. It wasn't even that much different from the Kilmarnock game, but we didn't score the goals this time. So that was absolutely fine. So keep that form going. You know, we've got players that are in top gear now. Tavernier's in top gear. Raskin's in top gear. Butland will be back. He just had a baby, so congratulations to him just before Christmas. So a good Christmas present for him. That was weird because I was at a Christmas market on Saturday, and then I came back and I was watching Rangers TV and I seen the team line. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what's happened to Butland and the goalman? He's in a facelift. It was Kelly. I was like, what the hell's happened there? He got pulled out of the warm-up, so that was bizarre. So that would be the team I'd be going with. Keep the forum going, keep the team going. Same forum, same team. Get a few goals up. And we're the forum team in the league right now, believe it or not. But I know it's game by game, but we are actually the forum team in the league. So we need to keep that going because when I watch a few neutral pods and stuff like that, they're starting to get a bit worried with Rangers forum because it happened last year, you know. This was the time last year that they fell off a cliff and started dropping points. But as per usual, when it came to the crunch, we bottled it at the end of the season. So we can claw back these points. We can claw back the gap. We've done it before. So game by game, but a good 3 points on Boxing Day. Perfect.
And as Big Phil's in the comments, actually, I'll just pick up this. Danilo was a bit off it against Dundee. He's one of the things that worries me about Danilo is his finishing's pretty poor. He's actually shooting his worst part of his game.
He was wearing Timberlands, man. He was wearing Timberlands or wellies, or honestly, like Christmas boots on, man. His shooting was. But the thing is, though, he still makes a massive difference to the team. It's like it's not just Danilo, it's not just one player, it's the unit with Egaman, before I get grief in the comments, Hadji, Danilo, and it's total different. Like, come on, like that was Dundee, you could even see even more. Well, we're playing 4-4-2, which works really well, you know. The Egaman's getting right next to Danilo and the movements there. Tavernier's playing like a striker again, man. What the hell has happened to Tavernier all of a sudden, man? How can he go from being so shite to so unbelievably back to his best? Like somebody just switched the switch overnight. It's unbelievable. Against Dundee, how many times was he in the box? It's crazy.
You know, one of the things I noticed actually Saturday, and this is obviously, see the fact that Egaman pulls left, very left. What you then do is it seemed to be that Tav would then go to the back post, the same way Morelos used to pull out the pitch, and he would go further forward. So I think there has been tactical changes in terms of how they're playing to allow for that kind of thing as much as anything else. It's maybe more. I think Tav said something about that a week or two ago. Then there's been tactical tweaks. It's mean he's more involved in the game. But anyway, Scott, you're a Paisley boy. You know more about St.Mirren probably than MD. You must see them every week and hear from people running about. What to expect in Saturday and Boxing Day. When is Boxing Day? Is it Friday? What day is Boxing Day? Thursday?
Boxing Day, aye. Listen, Steve Robinson sets the man up well. They're well disciplined. They've got a shape and they'll try and hit us in the counter, which they've done previously. And Ibrox, they caused a bit of issues, didn't they? But they couldn't score. So it's going to be roughly the same. We're just going to have to get down there, Gary, and play the way we've been playing. We have to go attacking. We have to take the game to them. And I think if we score first, then we should win. It's if we concede, and then you think, do the heads go down or do we come back up like we've done as well? So I think we just have to go down there and play attacking football. I think Ross was correct. Just play one holding. I think we've got too many good players to play two sitters. I think that takes so much away for the side, and it's just unfortunate that Barron's the one that's getting left out at this moment in time. But he's probably played, like somebody said in the chat, he's probably played a lot more football than expected to play when he first came. He was stuck in that default six because injuries and nobody else here because he couldn't say anybody, and he done reasonably well. But since Raskin's come in, he's been a lot better. But he's more experienced. He plays a wee bit. His awareness is a bit better, and he's got a bit better with the ball. But that'll come with Barron. I like Conor Barron. I think he's got a big future ahead of him, and I think he will be involved in games. And I think Diamandi's injured for Europa League games, so he's going to be involved in that down at Old Trafford. So listen, I think we just have to go play 3 up front plus the 10 or 4 up front, as you want to say, and just go to St.Mirren. You can't know, Gary. St.Mirren at the end of the day, no disrespect to him, but Rangers should be ground there and think we're going to win this game 2 or 3-0. They should be. Whether we do it or not is a different story, but that's the way we should be thinking. And it's no disrespect to our team. It's just, you know, you've got a better squad of players. You know, you play better football, so you've been down there confident winning these games. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't happen, but that's the way you should be treating this game. Whereas before we went down there, maybe apprehensive. We should be going there looking to see, right, we're getting 3 points a day and back up the road.
Yeah. So give us a scoreline then, Scott. What do you think? Scoreline, scorers.
Me, I'm always pessimistic, Gary, when it comes to scorelines. You two were 4 and 6 now, and I said 2-0, so I was the closest last week. I'm going to say 2-1, but I think we'll win. But I think we'll create a lot of chances. But I think it'll be 2-1, and I think no score near the end. But I think it'll be kind of comfortable. We will win, but I think it will be a closer score than the game suggests. So I'm going 2-1. I'll say I think Cerny will score, and I'm going Danilo, seeing that you and Nicky have been slagging.
Ross, yourself, scorers.
4-0. Igamani 2, Diamandi 1, James Henry Tavernier 1. 4-0.
James Henry. Ricky?
I'll go 2-0, mate. I think Tavernier will score, and I will go Egaman and Tavernier 2-0. I don't think we'll play. I think it's a tough place to go, St. Mirren. It's not really a place that I can even remember us ever going and like just turning up and playing good. It's like St. Johnstone. It's always a 1-0 or a 2-0 max. It's never a I can't remember, like, you know, it's one of the weird venues. It's always tough to get points at, and Motherwell will be quite a tough game as well.
So I'm just thinking, remember the goal, Ricky? Taff scored a beauty last season against them, didn't he? Was that the one that was in the kind of in the half volley right in the top corner?
Yeah.
Ball kind of come back out. It's like a cracking goal. So, since it's Christmas Eve, I'm going to ask you to give me if Rangers could give you one gift, or if you could get one Rangers gift from now to the end of the season, what would that be? So it could be a signing, it could be a certain type of performance, it could be whatever you wish it to be. If you woke up tomorrow morning and you got a gift from Rangers in your stocking, that will do you for the rest. You can action at any point in the season. What would it be? Ricky, what about you first?
The league title, mate. I was going to say.
Can't pick that. That's not fair. You can't pick that.
How? I was going to say beat Celtic on the second, and he said anything Rangers related. He says so. If we're going to have the league title in the sack, we're going to have to beat Celtic twice at least. Maybe a draw at the Piggery because they won't let any fans in because they'll be worried again. They'll have Connor will be the linesman, Muir will be VAR, and Clancy will be the ref. You know. So for me, we're going to league title in the bag. Santa this time next year we'll be saying that. Remember you asked for Santa for Christmas, the league title. See, Robert's the same, man. And anyway, Robert, I've asked for that already, so ask for something else.
Ross said something different then. Let's go try and get something different. So Ricky's went all out for the league title.
I would like
Europa League.
I don't know if there's anybody. I don't know if there's anybody that fits the bill, but I'd like a Scottish striker, good Rangers man, European experience, can hold the ball up, score goals, handsome, a lot skinnier than people give him credit for. I don't know if there's anybody that fits the bill.
Can I ask that question, Ross? Have you met this man before?
I spent some time in his company on Sunday.
So has he been struggling recently? Is he a bit down recently?
No, he's obviously I watched him every week, mate. Even though Xander's not been playing, but I took my mate with me on Sunday, so we went into the Xander managed to get his tickets to go into the kind of friends and family area, and I said to my pal, just watch him when you're actually at a game and see how good he touches, holds the ball up, brings others into play. Mate, so underrated, man, honestly. Like, if we were talking earlier on, see if you can get 2.5 million for Dessers and replace him with Shankland for 500 or 600 grand in the last 6 months of his contract. Probably on a third of the wage. Job done, as far as I'm concerned.
So see if you've seen him a lot, I have not. So do you think he'd be first choice, second choice, third choice? And if he wasn't first choice, I suppose my question would be, does he have the profile that could be a sub, make a difference as an impact sub?
So right now he's playing in the 10 for them. They've actually got a young boy who's 17 playing up top, but I think the end of Naismith's term and the start of Critchley's, they're using his experience more in the middle of the park, which means he's not scoring as many goals as he maybe did last season. But see, when you watch him, Gary, he's all around play. As I say, holds the ball up, brings in other people, and he's a totally different striker to anything we've got, to be honest. But the thing is as well, you can stick him up front, and if he gets 2 chances, he'll score 1, which is different to the other guy we've got that you just stick up front and he needs 6 to score 1. I get it. People who don't watch Rangers and only watch Sports Scene will maybe see him missing a chance, but they don't see the overall play. I also asked him on Sunday if I could be his mascot for his first game in blue, and he never confirmed nor denied if that could happen. So I'm living in hope. I think he could definitely do a job at Rangers, whether that be as a first choice striker, a second choice, a third. As I say, we've won leagues in the past, mate, with Chris Boyd. We've won leagues in the past with Kurt Broadfoot. We've won leagues in the past with Greg Wild. I think you need a Scottish core
I'm not
in your team.
disagreeing. Do you think then? I suppose that's what I suppose I'm just trying to get, because I don't see enough of him. As Chris Boyd was never a good sub, if you remember rightly. He was never good. He was never good when he came off the bench, right? He never really done very much. I suppose that's my thoughts as Shankland, because the perception is all is a goal scorer, and as you say, there's probably a lot more to his game than that. There's perception is he's not really. He's no built for coming off the bench. I suppose is maybe the way that people describe him, and I suppose that's just to kind of get your thoughts on that.
What I would say is, mate, how do you know? Because Hearts fans will tell you he's this, that, and the other. Rangers fans will tell you he couldn't get a game for us, but their manager picks him week in, week out, plays him through because he offers a lot more to the team than just goals. So I don't think it's one of the ones for me. It's a very low risk gamble for us. Sign him on a pre-contract. But you've seen this year, we're filling the Euro squad. We're only taking 22 out of 25 because we don't have enough homegrown players. It takes up enough space in the Euro squad. You see, the now we're struggling for strikers in Europe because we couldn't register Danilo. Yeah. So I mean, I don't see the downside. And as I say, I watch him every single week. I watch him. I don't see the downside. But I've been on this train for the last 2 years, as everybody knows. I don't shut up about it. So if I was to get a Christmas wish, I would give that, because it would give all your reels peace as well for having to listen to me trying to sell him. I should actually be his agent at this point.
No, definitely. And I'd like to see him sign, to be honest, just to clear up. I'd like to see him sign. I think even the identity, the Rangers fan, and all the stuff that goes with it, not just a player, but all the other stuff he brings with it in terms of how he would fit integrate in the squad. Scott, you're the last one then. So your Rangers present, your Rangers gift, what would it be?
So first of all, I'll say 100% behind Ross. I think Shankland's a far better player than a lot of fans for our teams give him credit for. I think as a footballer, he's very, very good. I think his awareness is really good. He can hold the ball up. He can pass a lot better. I mean, I see him coming through at Queen's Park, going to Aberdeen, St. Mirren, Morton, and he's still maturing, still learning. United, he scored a lot of goals, but his overall game's improved so much since then. I think he would give us impact that Natchnova gave us. Honestly, I do. I think when he come to Rangers as a sub, he come to Rangers, he either play with a man or he play with somebody else. I think you have to play him because he's that good around that area. But what would I ask for, Gary, is a big dominant centre back. I think if you've got a big dominant centre back, it clears a lot of troubles up for us, because they're relying on Balogun or Suter because he's injury prone, etc. And then proper playing. I think somebody just, I remember Colin Hendry coming, and he wasn't a big cat's favourite because he couldn't play football, but he could defend, and that's what I'm asking for. Somebody that can defend, takes no shit, and just clears the ball, wipes people out, and defends really well. Wins headers. Do you know what I mean? Headers and tackles. Somebody just dominant in the back. That's what I'm asking for.
And do you think there's anybody in Scotland that could do that job?
Nah.
I've not done the scouting for a couple of years, but nobody springs to mind. But there's somebody out there, Gary. It doesn't have to be somebody for here. It can be even somebody in loan. Listen, I know Ben Davis wasn't a lot of people on a big fan of Ben. I always thought he was decent. I watch a lot of Birmingham City games, and he's actually playing really good. And to me, he's better and proper still, and that's just my opinion. But he's playing very good. I know it's League One down there, but they've got a lot of decent players down there, and it's probably a lot of them around par with what we play against. I'm not saying bring him back, but I think he's playing that well with Birmingham, where you can say to Birmingham, take him from a win and a half, and they'll pay it because they've got the money. Then you use that money to maybe reinvest and bring in a centre back. I think that's where we're struggling, because Leon King's never getting game time, no matter how many times he sits on the bench, and it's going to be Sterling, Proper, Balogun between the three if Suter's injured. So we need to bring in somebody else who's dominant and gives us something decent. Somebody with pace as well, Gary. We don't got a lot of pace at the back, but somebody dominant enough to help us defensively.
Yeah.
What about you, Gary?
I suppose you need. I still think you probably need another central midfielder, don't you? Do you know, I think there's just the amount of games, especially if Diamante's pushed up at times. So I was looking for a signing, it'd be that. And Europa League, we've got a good chance this year. There's no Champions League dropouts coming down. Do you know what I'd like to see? Kamar Roof get a club. I was thinking of him just as we were talking. Do you know? It's scary. Kamar Roof still not got a club. The amount of goals, great goals he scored for us, things he done. Do you know, it's quite frightening that he's no playing a game of football at this moment in time. So you kind of want to see guys that probably him and Ryan Kent, guys like that were there, do well. In terms of Rangers, you know, it's the league. It's just keep winning. You know,
yeah, Gary, it's interesting. I see a lot of people in the comments going on about Lovelace and players like that, and it's like, listen, we can all say Our B team situation's an absolute shambles, mate, and it has been all season. And Comont's doing my head in a little bit because he's going round in circles, but he's not pulling out much solutions. Leon King has to go out on loan. If we're not going to sell him, then see Leon King and Bailey Rice, they need to be out on loan. Same with Lovelace. If Lovelace is not going to be getting a game, people are going on about don't bring in Shanklin, bring in Lovelace. Shanklin's an international experienced player. Lovelace is we need players in our squad now. Our squad is weak. You see the players that we're bringing on and the players we're taking off. So if these guys and it's the same at Celtic. Celtic's exactly the same. I think Scottish football has a massive problem with bringing through young players because simply they're not good enough. They can't handle the pressure of playing for Rangers. They can't handle the pressure of playing for Celtic. And it's all right going, and after it myself, let's give Bailey Rice a chance. Let's give Lovelace a chance. Let's give, every time we're dropping points, let's give this guy a chance. Clement is watching these guys train with the first team every single day, and he's not even putting them on the bench. So, and this was the manager before him and the manager before him. So it's all right putting it in the comments, but we're at a point where we need to start asking serious questions about the B team because McCallum's just been promoted. And is he going to be coming out with the solutions to get these players good enough to be able to get them into the first team? Because just now they're miles short, man. So we can speak about these players all the time, but we need solutions, you know. See if we go out of this January window and Devine is still at Rangers, Lowry's still at Rangers, King is still at Rangers, Rice is still at Rangers, Lovelace is still at Rangers. What? I mean, come on, guys. How? And they're not even, we don't even have games for them to play for the second half of the season, and they're not even getting on the bench for the first team. And forget about the token warm-up on the pitch in European games. It's actually embarrassing. I feel sorry for them. The mascot's got more chance of getting on than Broxy Bears got more chance of getting minutes than the kids do in these European games. So we need solutions to that. So that would be, I'm going to be a bit greedy and ask for 2 presents from Santa. So I want the league title and I want solutions to the players in the B team because just now it's an absolute mess.
Gary, can I come in on a question that one of the chat posed? Like, Ross, do you have no faith in the academy? So I'm the same as Ricky, right? I can only base the academy on the players who are coming through. And in the last 2 years to 18 months, Alex Lowry's came through, who looked good in spots but didn't want to work. Adam Devines came through, who looked St. Mirren level. Leon King came through, who looked decent at home, but when you went abroad in the Champions League, got ripped to bits. And that was possibly a managerial failure. Ross McCausland. So right now, I look at it, Gary, and I've not got any insider knowledge to Rangers, but what I'm taking for what Phil Clement's doing now is telling me that Ross McCausland is a better option to bring on in the right than Zach Lovelace. So if Zach Lovelace isn't better than Ross McCausland, then Zach Lovelace is not good enough to play for Rangers because Ross McCausland's pony. Kieran Dowell is still getting appearance money. So we talk about Kieran Dowell being on a big weekly wage. His appearance money will be through the roof. His appearance money is probably bigger than Bailey Rice's wages. But who's the one that the manager, when, let's be honest, the manager's in the trenches. He's one result away from catastrophe again. And who's he trusting? Who's the ones he's taking into the trenches with him? It's no Zach Lovelace. He's taking Ross McCausland, who everybody knows is nowhere near good enough.
Yeah.
He's taking in Kieran Dowell, who's costing the club a fortune and is offering nothing. Cyril Dessers, who we tried to punt in the summer, is still playing ahead of Lovelace. So you're not going to tell me that our academy, unless you're there every day and you're dealing with him and you can say, oh, I've seen him in the flesh. We're talking about back to Bailey Rice, he was better than Lennon Miller when they were in Motherwell's Youth Academy at under 9s or whatever, or under 12s, whatever age we picked him up at. But some players don't develop. If he was good enough, for me, he would be taking the spot on the bench that Kieran Dowell's currently coming on and just ghosting through games. So I've got faith in the academy, but I can only judge the academy based on what the manager's shown me, and what the manager's shown me is that the best coming out of the academy is nowhere near the level. Alex Lowry went to Hearts. I texted my mum and dad that night. I went, he'll be player of the year for Hearts this season.
Mhm.
They punted him at Christmas. Now he'll take him back.
And that's not necessarily to do with ability, because Lowry, as you say, he's got fantastic ability, but for a reason he didn't then display it, show it, develop, and so on. But no, I agree with you 100%. You know, I'm sure Phil Clement doesn't sit there and think, they're too young, I'm not playing them. They're better than the other guys, but I'm not playing them because they're young. That doesn't make any sense. It's clearly they don't think.
To be fair to Clement, has he not got a track record of bringing youth players through for his time in Belgium and Monaco?
He does.
So you're not talking about a guy that's shy of sticking somebody in if you're good enough, you're old enough type thing.
100%. Anyway, we'll see we're at well after an hour. This is Christmas Eve. We're almost reaching Christmas Day.
If you wouldn't mind keeping going for another hour, Gary, because Cole's still sitting wrapping presents, and if I come off too soon, I'll need to go and help her.
I would love to do that, but I think I get to wrap presents myself. Sadly, I've not getting it there for me, so I will need to go and do that. In terms of any other comments, Ricky, this is the last show season before Christmas. So
Merry Christmas to everyone. Have a good day. I know everyone's going to be having a few sherries and enjoy your food tomorrow, and enjoy family time, whatever everyone is up to. Football's back in Boxing Day, so one day of family pen tomorrow, and then the football's back in Boxing Day. So just a Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you to everyone in the comments, all the people. We appreciate well, it's great when you get involved in the pod. So thank you very much. Happy Christmas to everyone.
Yeah. And yourself, Ross?
Just to echo the sentiments, Gary. It's been a really good first 6-9 months for the podcast. And at the end of the day, the podcast doesn't exist without the people that are here every week contributing to the chat and contributing to the Twitter and liking and sharing and subscribing the stuff and getting on board with the troops. I always say this, but when you're sitting on here, you forget that there's thousands of people watching. It feels like just sitting having a chat with your friends, and if they people are not watching, then the podcast doesn't exist. So Merry Christmas to everybody that has supported the podcast, is helping the podcast grow, and obviously to yourself, Kia, Ricky, JD, Scotty, all the boys that come on and make it happen. And God bless.
Yeah. Echo that as well. You know, Merry Christmas to everybody. As Ross says and Ricky says, you know, the people that are watching it is what makes it interesting. You know, the comments give us stuff to talk about. They'll allow us to debate some stuff. And thanks very much. He's in the background, Scott, because he gets technical difficulties. Thanks to Scott for leading on it all and keeping it all going and getting it working there. So I hope everybody has a great Christmas. We will be back on the 27th, I think. Is that right? Is that Friday the 27th? And hopefully with another win in our belt, one more away game against Motherwell before we head into the Old Firm game. So as Ross says, please like, subscribe, share, tell our friends. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and wish you all a Merry Christmas. Good night.